YouTube, me and you, we got to have a conversation because your ads, they're getting a little too much. Your ads are annoying. That's what I want to talk about today. And it's becoming a problem. Let's jump into this video. So YouTube ads are annoying, and this is coming from a person like me, which is a big deal, guys, because if you guys don't know, I run a YouTube ads agency. That's literally how I've paid my bills for the last few years. That's how I've built up my career. That is what we do. We work with YouTube ads. I love YouTube ads. And for me to come out and say that YouTube ads are getting out of hand, YouTube, you might want to listen up, right? Because I don't see things getting better unless you do something. What do I mean by this? You can't even watch a 10-minute video anymore without getting 10 ads bombarded to you, and half of these ads are like those unskippable 15-second ads. It makes the viewing experience completely unbearable, especially now that a lot of content creators are also slipping in like a minute to a minute and a half sponsorships. So that 10-minute video, well, 5 minutes of that is actually ads or sponsored content. I don't want to see that. I don't want to waste 5 minutes on a 10-minute video watching ads. It's terrible for the user experience. And this is why, as an advertiser, I'm a little scared of what YouTube is doing and the direction that the company is going in. Because what I see happening is that audience engagement is going to go down the more YouTube bombards people with ads, right? And let me address the elephant in the room, which is ad block. YouTube, if you don't get this ad thing sorted, you're basically just driving people by the masses to go download ad block and block all of your ads so you won't have any people to show your ads to. Now, with all of these ad placements and YouTube moving to monetize channels that did not opt in to be monetized, what you're going to force creators to do is basically do paid sponsorships within their videos, and that's going to get annoying too. So as an advertiser who loves advertising on YouTube, I find this a little scary because the effectiveness of the ads will go down. And this is where I see the problem being, is the ads themselves will not hold as much of an impact as they did. And this is why, as an advertiser, I am scared. What should YouTube do? Now, listen, I'm an advertiser. I know I've identified the problem. I think I can bridge a gap between YouTube, the advertiser, and the audience itself, so we can kind of bridge together some of this gap. So YouTube, what do I want to propose? So obviously, as an advertiser, I have the advertiser's interests at heart as well as the content creators, and I know your business model. So I want to propose a couple solutions that fit everybody, and it's a win-win-win for everybody, because the last thing I really want seeing is YouTube dying because they oversaturated their audience with ads. YouTube, so what is the first thing you can do? I think the easiest thing on the table is blanket frequency caps. And what I mean by this, inside AdWords, just cap campaigns, right? I don't want to see the same ad 50 times. Like I've seen that Grammarly ad, I kid you not, like 50 times. I already have Grammarly. I don't want to see another Grammarly ad. So just do blanket frequency caps. So right now, the problem is you can do frequency capping on the campaign level, which is great, but it doesn't go as far as to protect the specific viewer from watching the same video over and over again. So what I think YouTube needs to start doing is capping the video ad itself. This is going to limit cross-campaign impressions. That's going to go a long way for viewers to stop seeing the same ad over and over. This is also going to save advertisers tons of money. If somebody isn't converting within the first few views, there's no way they're going to convert in the first 50 or 100 views on the same device, right? So it's going to help both parties, and it's going to make ads more engaging if you're not seeing the same ad over and over and over. Now, the second thing I actually recommend, and this is a little bit complicated, so I'm going to leave this to the engineers behind the scenes at Google, is to install some sort of customer avatar or device-based frequency capping. So what does this mean? If you have a person who has never clicked on an ad, stop showing them so many ads, right? If a YouTube viewer hasn't really clicked on one type of particular ads that's in the category, stop showing them that particular type of ad. So right now, the targeting on YouTube is not as crisp as Facebook. So you'll see ads come through on avatars that have no idea of belonging there, right? So you'll get, female products on just about any video just because people aren't signed up or signed in. So you have to be able to control some of that. So the third thing I recommend, and this is going to be great for viewers as well as advertisers, is if you YouTube, stop being so reliant on unskippable and skippable in-stream ads. What do you do instead? Well, you guys did a great job by introducing different ad types. Right now, those discovery ads on the home page, those work like magic, right? So start introducing other type of ads, right? Ads that don't interrupt the content viewing pleasure. Maybe some other ads on the home page, maybe some ads on the channel page, other places where advertisers can take advantage of that inventory without annoying the heck out of the viewers. I do want to talk about something that is a little bit different than YouTube's current business model. And obviously this is me, somebody who doesn't really know the back end of how YouTube operates that well. So take this with a grain of salt. As a advertiser, I would absolutely love if YouTube, you guys totally took the fight to ad block itself and got rid of it. But I know that would devastate the viewing community, right? Your users would be annoyed if you got rid of ad block, especially the ones that are using it now. So I recommend not doing that. And I think it's going to cause a lot of political fighting and all of that stuff. And I really don't want to get into that, especially in this video. What I do think you can do is something that's a little fundamentally different than how you operate, which is changing how you charge your advertisers, right? So YouTube, especially Google, right? That's the parent company that owns YouTube. So Google from the beginning has used a pay-per-click model, and this worked great with its search campaigns, but this isn't great on YouTube because they're two completely different platforms, right? So what worked on Google search will not work on YouTube. And YouTube, you've done a good job so far kind of moving away from the pay-per-click model, but I want you to completely move away from the pay-per-click model. Instead, charge per impression. Don't charge per view, charge per impression. And that's how you're gonna keep the impressions down low. Kind of like what Facebook does. So the reason why we see a ton of ads right now and they're super annoying is because advertisers, they don't get charged based on every impression. So as long as I keep skipping that ad within the first 30 seconds, 20 seconds, I think it is now, the advertiser doesn't get charged. So they're incentivized to continue to spam you until you either watch the ad in its after 20 seconds or click on it, right? Which makes absolutely no sense for the user experience, right? YouTube, you have a great case study with Facebook, right? They charge a pay-per-impression or model, right? They don't charge a pay-per-click or pay-per-view model, right? For the most part, their default is pay-per-impression. And I think that with in-stream ads would be a huge, huge, huge benefit for not only the users, but the advertisers as well, because it's going to force advertisers to actually make good ads, right? And you're not going to be saturating your market. You're not going to be getting as much ad fatigue as much as you are right now. And what that's going to do is bring down ad costs, right? Because the inventory is a little bit lower and there's a wider variety of ads, you're going to be paying less for the same space than you were before. So I think it helps out both advertisers and the viewers, the users, and ultimately YouTube as a platform to adopt these changes. In conclusion, YouTube, I do think you are at a tipping point right now where your users are starting to get frustrated, and even some of the advertisers are starting to get frustrated, and they're starting to get scared of what's happening. This little shift on your user base, it could hold a lot of devastating effects if you don't take care of it. I hope this video provides a couple of different insights into what you guys can start doing to change how you guys operate to help every single party involved. Well, those are my few thoughts on what's happening with YouTube and how they can, handle how annoying these ads have gotten. So I hope we see some of these changes coming soon, and I hope YouTube continues to be the #1 video platform on the internet. With that, guys, I hope you guys have a rest of the day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more content coming soon.